I definitely know what I want played at my funeral because I've planned it, and it's going to be Take a Bow by Madonna. She'll be there singing it live. I'm a disco queen, so in the mornings, first thing has to be disco music. Something like Sylvester, like Bring the Divas Out, gets me set up for the day. Keeping on the disco theme, I quite like Chic in the shower. I might knock out Le Freak or something like that. Maybe even a Dimitri from Paris remix if I'm feeling like extra fruity. For sort of a sexy moment, I might put on like a Roisin Murphy album, especially her latest album. It's quite dark and thumping, which sounds just like my sex life. My first makeup song was probably something like Two Become One by the Spice Girls, which has stood the test of time and is still amazing. And I was probably making out with my hand or the pillow. Pre-coming out, Madonna's music album, and sort of post/during coming out was Madonna's American Life album. I was a big Madonna fan at this stage, so let's go with like that sort of Madonna era, which is working with like William Orbit and Mearways and just making amazing, amazing, amazing music. Actually, probably the first podcast I ever listened to was RuPaul and Michelle Visage's podcast, which is called What's the Tea? And it's just sort of them having a chat. And if you go back to the really early episodes before they started bringing in like big celebrity guests and stuff, because they now bring in all the people that are on the American show. But if you go right back to the beginning, it's just Ru and Michelle just sort of chatting about life in New York when they were 20, or this film that they just saw. And it's just like a chat between friends. My first love, probably Tragedy by Steps. By the Bee Gees. Let's go with the original. Oh, I don't really have a breakup song. I'm a bit too top for that. Sorry. I'm going to say mine, Life of the Party by Jodie Harsh, which is out now, season 2 coming soon, and I think you'll love it. And it's all about going out and partying, which we will soon be doing. I guess the fact that I used to listen to quite a lot of rap music at one point, went for a bit of a rap phase for some reason, like Eminem and stuff. But I still listen to a bit of Kanye West and that kind of thing. I Can't Stand the Rain, but the Tina Turner version. Oh my God, it's one of the most awesome songs ever produced, and it's a cover as well, which was then later sampled by Missy Elliott. But the Tina Turner version is like the king. I love this record called Brighter Days by Kashmir, and it's there's a Masters of Work remix as well, which is phenomenal. And it's just one of those old sort of house anthems that just lifts you up. It's good to listen to first thing in the morning. I really enjoy Table Manners with Jessie Ware and her mum, and I'm actually dying to go on it. That's just super fun. Her and her mum and a guest talking about food and restaurants and cooking and blah, blah, blah. And it's quite gossipy and kind of fun, which is what you want from a podcast when it's on in the background. So Table Manners, yeah, it's good. I think I'd probably end up having to lip sync to My House by Me, because there's like, I'm not a lip sync queen, that's not a thing that I can do, and there really aren't that many lyrics in it, so it would be kind of an easy choice. The album that really changed my life is World Clique by D-Light. They are my favourite band of all time. They came around in the early 90s on the New York club scene when like RuPaul was starting out and people like that. And they performed at Wigstock and all these queer events. The music they were making was so awesome, so fun, so celebratory. It was sort of, its roots were in house music, but there'd be sort of like hip hop beats and stuff as well. I mean, we all know Groove is in the Heart because it's like the ultimate wedding song, but their album World Clique is, every single millimeter of it is just interesting pop dance perfection. I definitely know what I want played at my funeral because I've planned it, and it's going to be Take a Bow by Madonna. She'll be there singing it live. The lyrics are just so sad. Oh my God, there won't be a dry eye in the house, but also because it's Madonna, it's kind of fab, and everyone's going to be wearing multicolored clothes, and no one's going to be wearing black. I'll be like audio animatronic or something. Like, it's going to be like super major at my funeral. Lasers are like the theme of the funeral. So dark. My most played track when I'm DJing is there's this remix of Roisin Murphy, or Moloko actually, mixed by Moose T, and it's mixed with a bass line from Donna Summer, I Feel Love. And I used to always play it in a DJ set, and friends of mine would like take the piss and say like, oh, Jodie's playing because we can hear that track. I used to like open my sets with it and stuff, but I tried to be a bit less predictable than that now. But definitely that, yeah. It was Sing It Back meets I Feel Love by Donna Summer. Grace Jones, just because she's the queen. I listen to her most days, actually, various points in the day. If I needed a bit of a boost, a little injection of Grace in your face. Top 5 on my daily mix. Surprise, surprise, Roisin Murphy. Jessie Ware, Quality. Jodie Harsh, Awkward. Lady Gaga, and a bit of Jax Jones as well for some like fun dance. It's quite a good selection, I think. Sounds like a party. Jodie Harsh. Done. S.G. Lewis, who I think is just an awesome musician, great songwriter. His album is fantastic. He's got a track called Chemicals, which is so sick. He's got features on the album from people like Robin, and I think he is sort of like, I think he's gonna end up being the Nile Rodgers of our gen. I'm gonna go not so obvious for this one and go for Crystal Waters, just because bangers only, love her voice, great songs, and brings me back to like an era of like the great diva house music that I wasn't around for the first time. I'm gonna go for a really obvious one now. Lady Gaga, Born This Way. More because it's so unashamedly queer, like literally mentions like various people in the spectrum in the spoken part and stuff. And most songs that come out that are regarded as queer anthems, when you look at them content-wise, at the lyrics and stuff, they're just kind of not really that queer. So I'm gonna go with Born This Way, which is just all about celebrating who you are, which I think is what a queer anthem should be. Last podcast I listened to is Saving Sex and the City 3, which is basically, it's this screenwriter called Lara, and she's based in LA. She's like, really LA? She's like, oh my God. And she gets a different writer or cultural personality in for each episode, and they essentially thrash out a treatment and a script for Sex and the City 3, the movie that never happened, and it is so funny. Like, you know, like we open with Samantha's funeral, and then blah, 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 and this happens, and then, you know, it's so funny. So you've got to listen to it. I've been Jodie Harsh. Thank you so much for listening to my favourite songs and podcasts today. Please share this with your friends and like and comment and share the love, and I'll see you on the dance floor very soon, hopefully.